Hi friends, Sophie here with Muscle Bound Mama. I just wanted to have a conversation today about goal weights because this is something that has come up quite frequently in the last little bit because we are taking in some new clients for a challenge. And when clients come in, one of the intake questions that we ask is, what is your goal with us over this next period of time? And more often than not, clients will say, I would like to hit 100 and let's say 40 pounds. And sometimes people come to us with concerns like, I had a physical at the doctor's office and it didn't go as I thought it would. My physician's concerned that my cholesterol levels are high, or there's a variety of reasons someone might come to us, but they always come to us with a goal weight. So when I ask them if they've been this goal weight before, they often say yes, that they had. And this is where this number came from. And then I ask them, do you remember being this weight? Were you happy there? And they often say, I have no idea. The reason they came up with this number was because they're looking through old photos, maybe their wedding photos, and they remember being this weight and looking tiny. What they aren't remembering is what they had to do to get there, more often than not. Or maybe it was such a stressful and difficult time in their life that they weren't able to manage the relationship with food appropriately and they weren't eating. There's a variety of reasons. But more often than not, these weights are from years and years and years ago. And, these women might be postmenopausal. So this is obviously challenging for a number of reasons. I want to tell you a story. When I was in competitive bodybuilding, between my first and my second show, my now husband and I went to Mexico, and it was great. It was all inclusive. In my mind, I thought, I'm going to live in my bikini the whole time. I'm never going to wear clothes. And, it's after a competition, so I'm going to look amazing. I'm going to rock it. But here's the thing. When I was there, I was 15 pounds from my stage weight, and I was miserable. The effort I had to put in to maintain that weight so close to my stage weight was exhausting. And you would have looked at me at that time and thought, wow, she's super fit, she has abs. But it was exhausting. I had to think about food constantly. And here's the worst part. When I was there on the beach, I refused to take my cover up off, except for when I was lying down. And when I was lying down, I was very aware of how my bathing suit fit while I was doing that, because I didn't want anything, bulging over my bathing suit bottom, which is kind of crazy because we were on this 7-day all-inclusive vacation in a beautiful sunny country, and all I can think about was how terrible I thought I looked. And isn't that awful? Because the physique I had at that time was one that was excruciating to obtain. So if I were to go into a weight loss challenge and say, what's your goal? And say my goal weight is 140 pounds, because that's how much I weighed at that time. And my coach were to ask me, were you happy at that weight? I could think back and go, nope, I was miserable. So where is this 140 pounds coming from? What is this arbitrary number based on? It's just visual. So now here's the thing. When we obtain weight loss, so let's say you did obtain that 140 pounds. You work with us, you did everything that you wanted to do to obtain that weight, you hit your goal, fireworks are going off, magic is happening, and then what? And then all the things you did to get to 140 pounds, you have to do to keep that 140 pounds. And this is something that a lot of people don't take into consideration. So let's say you are a power lifter and you're at a competition and you pull 300 pounds off the floor. That is an accomplishment no one can take away from you. It's a tangible lift. It's a tangible number. You can get a trophy that says you lifted 300 pounds, and no one can take that away from you. Weight loss is not the same. Hitting a goal weight is not the same as hitting a 1-rep max. You don't get to keep it. You can't go back to behaviors you were continuing before or engage in activities that might make you happy, like baking and eating cookies with your kids or going out for ice cream 3 nights a week. Any of those things that you might have done to gain the weight in the first place or to obtain the body composition you're in at that time, you can't continue without regaining that weight, right? And so this is why I feel that goal weights are bullshit, because you don't get to keep them. And I think that we put so much emphasis on that number, and we feel like once we get there, our self-esteem is going to be improved. We're going to feel amazing about ourselves. And again, my story about Mexico, that was not the case for me. And I don't think that I am the exception. I think I'm the rule. And so here's another thing. Self-esteem isn't an outside job. Self-esteem is your own view of who you are and how you feel about yourself. That's not something that you obtain by doing. It's something you obtain by being. And when you're losing weight, or when you're trying to reach an arbitrary weight loss goal, that's a goal weight, that's a doing. That's not a being. And we often talk about the regainer and maintainer mindset when we're working with clients, because the goal is to not just lose the weight, it's to maintain it. That's why we practice flexible dieting. That's why we practice sustainable process, like working the foods you love into your plan. And the thing about the regainer mindset is that there's this focus on the means to an end, right? That goal, I'm focused on that goal, I'm looking only at that goal, and I'm not seeing anything else. But a maintainer mindset, someone who maintains that weight loss, relishes the effort involved in obtaining that goal. They love the process. Their goal weight doesn't matter to them. Their weekly weigh-ins don't really matter to them. Of course, we all love to see that drop on the scale, but they love the effort that it takes. They are enjoying the flexible dieting component. They're enjoying eating the things that they love in a way that aligns with their goals and values. They're enjoying how their body feels when that body fat comes off, or when their weight is lowered and it's easier to move their body, and how much energy they have. They relish this effort. This is their focus. When we choose an arbitrary goal weight, we tend to hyper-focus on that goal and not see all of the things that are happening in the meantime. And here's the thing. If you can't see the things that are happening along the way throughout the process, there isn't going to be any growth. There's no opportunity for growth, because you're white knuckling and you're ignoring your successes, your challenges. And the thing is, we can't ignore our challenges. We can't ignore the times we fall off plan, because those are opportunities to show us the cracks in our foundation, the things that need work. And if you don't do the work, you don't get to keep the results. You might get the results, but you're not going to keep the results. So all that to say, goal weights are bullshit. And I want you to focus on the process. Learn to love the process. And if you're finding yourself dragging yourself through the process and it's excruciating for you to get through the process, and you're white knuckling and you're hating it the whole entire way and you're feeling deprived, take a look inside and see what it is that is making you feel this way. There's probably some conversations that you're having with yourself that aren't very friendly. You're probably telling yourself some old stories about your ability to succeed, or about who you are as a person and what you might lack instead of what you might possess. Because trust me when I tell you, none of this is magic. All of this is work and effort. And just like with your job, if you don't love your job, you are not going to like going, and you're probably not going to do your best. It's exactly the same with this process. So focus on the being and not the doing. Remember that you loving yourself is part of this process, is part of this, not only obtaining the success, but maintaining that success. You cannot shame your way to that arbitrary bullshit goal weight, right? So go, lean into the process, enjoy it, and grow. Thanks for listening, everyone.